Skoda is these days very serious about SUVs, and the core of the company's crossover range is found with this mid-sized Qashqai class Karoq model, here usefully improved and smarter looking. As before, it gets all the latest Volkswagen Group engineering, now including the brand's latest TDI twin dosing technology. Plus, there's a high-tech Mqb chassis and cutting-edge safety and infotainment features. Everything, in fact, that you'd want from a modern family-sized SUV of this kind.
Not much has changed with the engineering of this car, which is somewhat surprising in this era of electrification. As before, things kick off with a 110 PS 1-litre TSI 3-cylinder petrol unit, but many will prefer the alternative 150 PS 1.5-litre TSI 4-cylinder power plant, which uses cylinder deactivation for an exemplary combination of performance and efficiency. It manages up to 46.3 mpg on the combined cycle and up to 138 grams per kilometre of CO2. There's also a top 2-litre TSI 190 PS DSG Auto petrol variant, but that's a rare sight on our roads. More common will be the 2-litre TDI diesel engines, now with the VW Group's eco-conscious twin dosing technology, and offering either 116 PS or, as in this case, 150 PS. Both are available with either a 6-speed manual gearbox or the 7-speed DSG Auto transmission we have here. 4-wheel drive can only feature on top 2-litre TDI 150 diesel and 2-litre TSI versions of this car. It's mandatory on that top petrol model, and wherever fitted must be mated with DSG Auto transmission. The standard damping setup remains very good indeed. Skoda's chassis settings usually tend to work well in this market, having been designed for the Czech Republic's terrible tarmac and the potholed roads of the many developing countries that favour the company's products. What else? Well, on the highway, refinement is impressive. In town, the Karoq remains manoeuvrable and easy to park. And when you're pushing on, the drive dynamics are very difficult to tell apart from those of an Octavia family hatch. True, the ride and handling combination served up isn't particularly exciting, but it is very Skoda. Subtle styling changes mark out this updated Karoq model, but you still might well find yourself mistaking it for its larger Kodiaq SUV stablemate. It certainly looks a slightly more confident proposition here at the front, where the grille is now wider and hexagonal in shape, flanked by slimmer and sharper part LED headlamps which incorporate lower daytime running lights, now split in two. The bumper's also been restyled, and as before, the bonnet has a prominent central ridge culminating with the brand badge. Skoda's concentrated on aerodynamics as part of this update, improving the drag factor by 9% to 0.30 CD by adding a longer rear spoiler and side finlets on most models, and redesigning the alloy wheels so that they've got these little aero inserts. At the rear, there are sharper LED tail lamps and another restyled bumper that looks more dynamic on this Sportline trim level. So, the outside updates are subtle. Will the same be true inside? Well, at first glance, once you get seated, it may not look that much different if you happen to be familiar with the original version of this model. But then look a little closer. There's a smarter, more stylised wheel borrowed from the latest Octavia, and you'll find that trim quality has risen a few notches. There's more technology too, primarily thanks to the fact that the instrument cluster has finally banished analogue gauges to history, replaced by virtual dials on a screen that will be either 8 inches or, as in this case, 10.25 inches in size. Tech like that, of course, features in other segment rivals, as do some of the cabin enhancements introduced as part of this update. For instance, the availability of extended ambient lighting and nicer upholstery trimmed in micro suede or leather. You always know you're in a Skoda, though, thanks to various simply clever design features that, well, just make life a bit easier. Take this jumbo box between the seats, which incorporates this neat reversible tray that also has cup holders, cubbies and slots for coins and ticket storage. And what other family car provides you with the opportunity to add in a rubbish bin to the door pocket, or can include an umbrella beneath the front passenger seat? OK, let's take a look in the back. Legroom is reasonable by class standards, though taller folk may still find their knees brushing against the front seat backs, and the prominence of this centre transmission tunnel means that fitting a third adult in the centre here might be difficult. The real cleverness here, though, lies in something Skoda's particularly proud of, its VarioFlex seating system, which is unique in this segment. The VarioFlex package replaces the usual rear bench with 3 separate seats that can individually slide, recline, or be removed altogether. If you only need space for 2, the centre seat can be removed, allowing the 2 outer chairs to then be pushed up to 80mm further in towards the centre of the cabin, creating limousine-like levels of shoulder room. If there are 2 of you, but you want to keep that centre seat in situ, it can be folded down to reveal a couple of useful built-in cup holders. We'll finish with a look out back. Once everything's open, the space you get depends on whether you have a variant with that VarioFlex rear bench fitted. If it has been, then the 521 litre capacity we have here will be increased to 588 litres. If you need more room, then these sidewall catches allow you to flatten the rear bench, which frees up 1,630 litres with this conventional rear seat fitted. With a variant featuring the VarioFlex bench, that falls to 1,605 litres, but with 3 separate seats fitted as part of the system, the folding can be much more flexible, and you'll have the option to remove the rear bench completely, in which case up to 1,810 litres of space can be freed up. Enough, Skoda says, to swallow up to 1,000 small plastic bottles. You can see the appeal of this Karoq model. It's spacious, safe, drives well, has a cool but understated image, and is affordable to run. The VarioFlex removable rear bench is a genuinely unique in-sector feature. And there's the usual range of simply clever Skoda features that'll make Karoq ownership that bit easier. In short, what we have here is a class act in a market full of try-hard rivals, and a car that strikes an appealing chord between practicality, quality and fashion. A family car that doesn't shout family, and a crossover you could be genuinely pleased to own.